Pickaxe.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, our after show where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between for each episode of Cast Party. Here we leak info that may not have made it into the final episode, take a look behind Colin's DM screen, and almost always devolve into some absolute nonsense. We do these for every single episode, so if you like what you hear and want all the juicy secrets, head on over to patreon.com/castparty and join the cast and crew. For the price of a single cup of coffee, you can get access to backlogs of hilarious bonus one-shots like last week's Through the Realms of Myria movie plot one-shot, and these behind-the-scenes episodes after every single episode of Cast Party. Patreon.com/castparty. We'll see you there. Come hang out with us on the Discord. We love you all so much and can't thank you enough for the support and for spending the last 3 years with Cast Party. Enjoy this sneak peek behind the scenes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Behind the Scenes, episode 80. Did you know if you live until 80, the average person with the average stride will walk a distance of around 110,000 miles in their life, which is the equivalent of walking around the Earth's equator 5 times.
Whoa.
Neat.
Nuts.
Those are lots of averages, obviously, but still.
Yeah,
average person, average stride, average amount of steps.
I like to think I'm average, at best. Before we get into recap, I wrote down a story based off of Jett's intro today. I think, Colin, you were there for this. Can I tell it real quick? Just to completely derail us?
I don't remember Jett's intro.
The fish.
Oh, the Surströmming.
The smelly fish. I went over to my friend's house for New Year's Eve one year. I think you were there, Colin. I swear to God you were. Connor's house?
I've been to Connor's house for New Year's Eve, so I might have been there.
We get in there, and he was so excited to share his new bottle of alcohol with everybody. But he didn't want to share it physically. He wanted everyone to smell it, because it smelled like cheesy vomit, okay? Anyone who comes in the party's like, hey, how's it going? You gotta smell this first, just right off the bat, okay? And he was the only one who was gonna try this the whole night. Everyone is gathered around watching him open this fucking drink. He drops the entire bottle on the floor. The house has to be basically evacuated. We could not stand in the living room, the guest room, the den, or the kitchen the rest of the night because it spilled and went everywhere, and that pungent smell filled the whole house.
Skunk beer.
What the fuck?
And
Did it smell like that
disgusting.
on purpose? Was that the gag, or?
I think so.
I think the beer went bad or something.
No, he bought it specifically for the smell.
Oh my God. What is wrong with him?
Connor's fucking weird. Connor, I love you if you ever watch this.
Because it was really fucking cold and we had to hang out in the garage.
In the garage.
but other people wanted to watch the ball drop, and some people went back into the living room and just dealt with the smell while waiting for the ball to drop.
Sorry, just a story related to the intros. I'll let you get to recap.
You want to know what else stinks? Traps. When you're subject to them, you fall for them. And that's what this episode was. It was traps and traps and traps. And then we got to Veldrin, the ley line, being able to go home, and then the little glass ball for Alana. Yeah, my plan for this was to be like, I was going to try to do my best to make this like a normally dungeon, which was trap heavy, but also riddle heavy or puzzle heavy. It ended up being all traps, but I liked it.
Puzzler too?
Kinda, yeah. The mirror
the beginning
one,
of it.
Yeah, the go back, which was very good. Jett got that pretty quickly. But yeah, basically, if you went out that door and went back in, you'd start the normal way, and you basically had to go into the second room and then come back out the front room to continue on. Yeah.
You know what I noticed about this episode? It's the first one out of all 80 episodes that we've recorded so far where I had socks on the whole time.
Why do you weirdos take your socks off ever? Aside from sleeping, socks should be on at all times.
Socks
and shower.
I hate socks.
No.
I thought you were talking about Xander. I'm like, when did socks ever?
No.
That's why I was like,
Xander that I didn't mention in the episode at all.
Yeah.
Just through the dungeon.
I was about to say,
little
what the
slap,
fuck, dude?
slap. No. I never have my socks on if I'm home, because why would I? That sounds awful. And
To keep your toes
I also
warm.
have heating in my house.
Doesn't matter. It could be
No,
80 in
and-
my house and my
and-
feet are still
and-
cold.
And I have good circulation.
I love having socks.
Built different. Anyway,
You say that so much. I think that is Nigel's favorite thing to say.
it is because it's true. Anyway,
That you're built different. You are
yeah.
built different. It doesn't mean better. It just means different.
True. I have only ever said different. But also, I live in a place that has mostly hardwood floors. If I'm wearing socks, I'm more likely to slip down the stairs, and I don't want to do that. It has happened before.
Yeah, that's scary.
I always have my socks off, and today I put on socks, and it was colder in my recording space than usual because the windows in here don't seal properly, and today was like the first cold day, so we didn't have the heat on. I had a reason today because it was extra cold, but
we gotta check doctor stats to see if you roll better or worse with socks.
Ooh.
I was rolling kind of like garbage today.
Yeah, it was one episode versus 79. It'll be definitely a very good sample size for both.
Yeah.
So, you want to know what else is nice and warm? Being sprayed by hot liquid oil fire.
Flamethrower hallway.
What was that about?
Flamethrower hallway. So I will say some of these traps I found online. Others I created myself. That one was one I found online, and I was like, I'm going to use that.
I couldn't believe the chances of that because I was just grabbing one of the torches off the wall just to have extra light. Because I kept thinking like, oh, what if we go into a room where there's only darkness? Okay, I'll have some fire with me at least. And then you're like, nope, that's part of the puzzle. I'm like, fuck.
There was a weird amount of torches in that hallway.
Yeah,
So
that's why I
compared
was
to
like,
others.
oh, I'll grab one because there's so
Suspicious.
many.
I wanted it to feel like that because on the map, I was like, oh, we'll put like a normal amount of torches in all the other places. And then there's going to be 8 in this tiny ass hallway. And they're
Yeah.
going to be like, that's. And if you go back, I even said, Jett, you were like, yeah, is it like bright in here? Can we see everything? I'm like, yeah, it's actually really bright in this
You
chamber.
said that in
trying
your
to hint at
original description of the room.
Yeah,
You said it
yeah.
was super bright.
just trying to
long
hint
torches.
that there was like a lot of torches.
Was there
But yeah,
like
for-
a fix to that to turn them off, or to not set them off?
The door would have opened if all of the torches were undone. So basically, think of like how Deadbolt works. Each one of those was like just having a torch in the sconce was like securing the door in. So once those were pulled off, the door would have been able to be pulled open just
Each little
fine.
Pin was like getting taken out of the lock.
Basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is why I was having, when you pulled Jett, when you pulled the first one, you rolled really bad in your investigation. And I was like,
Yeah.
Xander, you're by the door. Roll me perception because I was going to have him hear one of the pins.
Ah,
But he
and then I
rolled
rolled
really
really
bad on
badly,
his
too.
perception.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I rolled like a 2 or a 3. And what did you roll? It was like,
A 1.
oh,
Like that.
Yeah, this was one of the worst episodes I feel like we've had. There was, I think someone got a nat 20 or 2, but aside from that,
For rolling.
it was.
For roll- it was the worst we've
I
had
should
for rolling.
specify.
It was not the
I love
worst
this episode. It was really fun. It was very engaging with everybody. I love the puzzles. It was very Pungeon-esque, but I think that's because we don't really get a lot of puzzle dungeons ever in Cast Party. So
yeah, it's fun.
I got thrown back to first ever Pungeon.
Yeah, and I don't
I-
use traps a lot, so I was so excited because I've had lists of traps that I've wanted to use, and I'm like, when am I going to use this? So
I think
Neat at
the
the
only
end.
pun, though. I think the only pun in the entire episode was
Let's
Vince.
go.
Yeah.
It was me, guys. I did it.
It was a good one, too.
In the words of my 2-year-old niece, Vivian, I did it. I really did enjoy doing all the puzzles, though, because like you said, we haven't really had those in our campaign. We've had it in other like one-shots and Pungeon, of course. Fuck me.
yeah, we've done a couple-ish, but not like this was just
Like
full
this.
on like, hey, this was dungeon, which is why I was like, I
Yeah.
was so nervous because you guys are so high level that you were going to do some bullshit and be able to skip
Well-
the entire thing, which you could have done, which is why I had, and I even brought it up with Veldrin at the end, that they had basically created a zone where if you teleported in from the outside, it would have put you into that chute that Xander went into and into the demi-plane.
Okay.
I am glad that you specified from the outside because Far Step is teleporting.
And I dimension
yeah,
doored,
and-
too.
so
And you Dimension Doored and Blueberry Misty Step.
yeah.
And I specifically had it where it was only from the outside in, or if you tried to specifically teleport into the ley line structure. that also would have done the same. But
What
it was
if we had
only outplayed.
all dimension doored in through the bag and we just all got put into Shadow Room?
That would have been fun.
Cast party over.
What could we have done?
It would have been interesting,
Skipped
and I
everything
had
and
plans for that.
persuaded Veldrin, just and hope.
Could she hear us from there?
Demiplane is an 8th level warlock spell.
Oh.
Which is
That's
one of
why
the
you have
reasons
the potential.
I was like, ooh, actually, you look like you might be able to learn this when she was talking to Xander. As just like a thing. And she basically used like a glyph of warding kind of thing to make it appear at the time that it did, rather than appearing herself. And yeah, it's just a 30-foot room in each dimension. Medium creatures can pass through unhindered, blah, blah, blah. When the spell ends, the door, blah, blah, blah. And I think it says... Okay, I couldn't remember if this was this spell or not. This one doesn't specify that you could just live forever in it, but I was going to say you could.
Cool.
But if you know the nature of another warlock's or wizard's demiplane and demiplane, you can open a door to theirs.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you learned this, you could technically open your own or to Veldrin's, which is kind of cool. So some of the spells there were... Some of the things that happened were just like typical trap things, but also I tried to use some high-level warlock stuff because Veldrin was a warlock. It was pitch that was falling that you guys shot down and made the place whole pitch black. That was a spell called Maddening Darkness.
Oh.
Which is also a warlock spell, and it's really cool.
Ooh.
I had to tone it down a little bit. Just the damage.
Appreciated.
I had to have the damage.
I thought that was going to mess us up like a lot more than it did. Like we
Same, I
got
was
through it really
worried.
quick. Yeah,
It
I was
really,
expecting
really
one of us
could
to get
have.
downed.
What would have triggered the darkness other than shooting it?
Picking up the keys.
Man.
Oh, so the second you pick
But-
it up.
But there were other things you could have done. Like if you didn't pick anything up and you just kind of like walked around the room and you discovered that the floor was like obviously a maze, you could have memorized the maze. Or you could have had everyone else wait at the other end while just one person grabbed and like dimension doored over and opened the door or something like that. So I tried to leave enough where there was like some options for what you could do, and some were just like, I don't fucking know what's going on kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the one very lucky roll that I had that was my nat 20 for the
Yes.
first survival check,
Yeah.
and then a 17 for the next one was pretty good too.
Basically for that, I had written out the damage each turn, and the second damage was super low because it was only 14, because I was rolling 48, so it could be pretty high. The others were around 20 to 24 average. But basically what I had you do, Xander, was intelligence or survival, and I had DCs, and it was basically like my in-brain plan was that you had to, I assumed you were all going to grab the keys, and then you would have to move 4 places. Just again, this is just an arbitrary amount. You'd have to get 4 successes basically to get to the end. But because you started in the doorway and not at the keys, I made it 5 instead. Because you guys weren't actually into the room yet.
Yeah.
And basically each DC, if you had less than 5, you would have moved backwards 1 or gotten like stuck. 10 is 1, 14 was 2, 18 was 3, 22 was 4. So when you rolled the nat 20 or whatever, you got a 22. So you moved 4
go.
immediately, and then you only needed the 1 more to get to the
Nice.
edge, which was only DC 10. So you were able
that's
to
sweet.
grab everybody, get them pretty quick. But yeah, that could have fucked you up. It was damage was 20, then 14, then 22, then 23 that I had rolled pre. So that would have added up fast if you were just there another 1 or 2 rounds.
I'm wondering how
Yeah,
that
for
would have
sure.
gone if we didn't just immediately shoot the keys.
I was not feeling too good by
shooting
the,
the pitch.
end. I had like almost half my health gone.
Yeah. I'm
getting
just
fucked
wondering
up.
like what we would have done differently getting into that room, because it was just the cube in there with the keys in it, right? There was nothing else.
So there was a table with keys, and then there was the rope hanging with the black shit that Xander shot.
Yeah.
We might have been. It would have been fun to take a picture of the floor, because you could see the outline in the darker stone of where the maze was to like help you through
true.
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you guys recognize that was a
see.
mage.
If we got
If
in
you
there
could
before
see.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that would just be, it would still, since that darkness it was magical darkness, Xander's still the only one that could have seen in there.
Yep. A creature
You know.
with dark vision can't see through this darkness.
Oh,
Non-magical light, as well as light created by spells of 8th level or lower, can't illuminate the area.
Goddamn.
So even if Sebastian used dancing lights or whatever, it wouldn't have done anything.
Gonna use a 9th level dancing lights.
Jesus.
Fuck it, just go crazy with it. Then we had Blueberry. I felt bad for Blueberry because this one was one I found online that I was like, I gotta use this one, which was the pretty obvious trap door in the ground, and then people sit into it.
That just reminded me of I think the movie's called Cabin in the Woods or whatever, where Chris Hemsworth is on the motorcycle, and then when he jumps into the air to try to get through the exit thing, he just hits that wall, the invisible wall thing. I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I want so much more from that movie. Like, I want more things to come from that movie because Cabin in the Woods was such an interesting take on a horror movie.
Yes.
And there's so many other horror movies that could come from it that I just want more of that.
I never saw it.
It was surprisingly impressive.
It's very
Yeah.
good.
Me no horror
That
movies.
wasn't the one where everyone
It
has
does
the
like
masks,
feel like
right?
a horror movie.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
No.
It's very kitschy. The whole thing is it's a very campy
What does that mean?
horror movie.
Kitschy.
Which one? Kitschy?
Tawdry
Yeah,
or
like,
showy, and usually appealing to popular or undiscriminate taste.
Oh.
I
Like you
did
said.
spell it wrong, but
I didn't spell it at all. We're fine. Yeah, it's weird because like it is a horror movie, but it's not like overtly scary. And by the time you get to the end, it's so not scary. It's just like intense and like weird and wacky and fun.
Yeah.
I think as a fan of horror movies, at least.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites out there. Not oh my god, it's the best horror movie in the world sort of deal, but it's just that fun horror movie that takes such a different, I don't know, view of horror.
Yeah.
I weirdly heard
different perspective.
that the Winnie the Pooh horror movie, like the remake, was also
Trash.
like tensely fun.
It's supposed
I do
to.
want.
like most horror movies.
Yeah.
Were you going into a Winnie the Pooh horror movie thinking this is going to be a blockbuster cinematic masterpiece?
Hey,
Like, I don't.
you never
Like,
know.
fun is really all you can ask
Could
for
take
it.
you. Yeah, could take you by
Yeah.
surprise.
There was this horror movie I watched as a kid called The Tripper, where it was about a dude. It was like very much like Jason kind of thing, where it was a dude who would wear a Ronald Reagan mask killing hippies. That was the whole plot of the movie.
When you said it, I was like, for some reason, I thought of Swiper from Dora. And I was like, could you imagine a Dora horror
There you
movie with
go.
Swiper just coming around
Made.
and your lives?
That's gotta be made. Hold on.
They just
Dorer?
made
Dora.
Oh God! They just made one. I think it's called The Mean One, where it's about the Grinch, like a horror movie about the
that.
Grinch.
It's like
Like a
a
horror
bad
movie with the
Santa,
Grinch.
But
Grinch
it
instead.
looks so bad. So bad, but I still want to watch it just to say I watched it.
I'm so sorry, but every horror movie I've ever been dragged to has been atrocious, and I don't know how anyone likes horror movies. It's not
Oh, I
even
love
scary.
them.
It's just like, this is the
Oh.
most boring thing I've ever sat through.
I have a few I like. The original Cloverfield.
Yes.
Quiet Place is phenomenal.
A Quiet Place.
Quiet
is so,
Place
I
is
still
really
didn't see
fucking
the second
good.
one.
Or more tense.
Holy shit!
The Babadook.
Babadook. I
The
thought was.
Babadook is a good one.
I thought you said Marmaduke. I'm pissing my pants at Marmaduke.
No, Babadook, I think it was a good psychological thriller horror movie. And another, I don't know if it counts as horror, but it's horrific what happens throughout it, is The Cube, which kind of ties us back into this, where every room is a puzzle in this giant cube, and they have to use math to figure it out. And they do use the trope of, oh, this person's autistic, which means they're really good at math, and that's how they beat it.
that's
Spoilers, but
Great.
it is an interesting movie, at least.
That kind of reminds me of Saw. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just here's a weird thing. Do good at it, and you don't die.
There is one movie, I feel like that some of you have seen it. It's where I think it's called The Platform, actually, where there's multiple floors, and then there's just one platform that at the top they fill it up with a shit ton of food.
Yeah.
And it's enough food to feed every person on every floor. And it spends a little bit of time at each floor, and by the time greed takes over, and by the time it gets to the bottom, there's literally just bones left over. And yeah.
I saw a TikTok about a scene from that movie, and I was like, this looks so interesting. And then I never got the movie name. No one in the comments said anything. And I was like, this is so curious.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I feel like you would like that, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's horror, it's thriller, it's psychological horror thriller. I actually really enjoy that movie, and it is not it didn't have a huge budget or anything either, I believe. It was a Netflix film, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It is called The Platform. And it is a very, very much like psychological trip through the whole thing. Deals with like how people treat other people.
See, that's
that
what I
kind of
like.
stuff.
I don't like the last movie I got dragged to, the horror movie, was the Conjuring remake, and that was
those are all trash.
waiting on the way home.
I can't talk about much because of the strike.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're so right.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
Pretty sure I could talk about A24 though. Hereditary, Midsommar, Bodies.
Oh yeah,
I've
so
never heard Bodies.
It's the more new one. Also, Talk to Me, which I haven't seen, but I want to. Bodies is very Gen Z.
The girl reaches for the hand.
Yes.
I want to watch that.
Is that the one by which one's by the Raka brothers, the Australians? They're Australian YouTubers that did a movie, and it was a horror movie, and it was very good, and I'm pretty sure it was with A24.
You know what scares me a lot in horror movies? When they show a mirror, and then what in the mirror is not what in real life. Speaking of...
Talk to me. It was Talk to Me.
I'm proud of you.
I love the Spot the Difference game.
Yeah, that was a good one. All I thought of was the Office meme. The corporate wants you to look at these two pictures. I was like, hell yeah.
I was expecting it to be more dangerous. I thought you were going to throw something else out there.
No, I had this idea, and so this is an idea that I had, and I was building it out yesterday, and I've had this idea for so long that I was like, I've had it for so long that I convinced myself I'd already done it, and I was like, have I done this in Cast Party before? And I got nervous. Or have I made this before? It felt so familiar. So I'm glad it obviously wasn't that, at least. But yeah, I had the idea, and it was basically just like, don't walk to the table. And it was more to scare people.
I like the of course the decoy ones, like the bear head and stuff. And then I also liked that even just based off the pictures, you couldn't tell if the bookcase was like anything had it wrong. So it's based off the Roll20 map that the light is off and the chair is pushed out and all that stuff. I liked having the ones where you had to like go in and dig deep and see what's up.
One that I thought was going to be hard on the Roll20 map was the candle on the desk, but Nigel got that good because it's on the left side on the map when you're looking at it, but that doesn't mirror because it should be on the outer side. So I'm glad that Nigel got that because I was like, ooh, that one's kind of tough.
Yeah, I did not notice that one. I didn't notice the freaking torch being out, Anna, either.
Yeah, because
this episode,
invisible.
What was invisible?
The light being out just means that it's dark, so it just blends in with the stone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
This episode with all of the puzzles and the traps and stuff came at a good time because I don't think it was last week, it might have been the week before, I did the recording with Ben for his podcast.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Shout out Ben, shout out Earthos Creation, shout out Dungeon Problems Podcast for where he ran me through a couple of puzzles and stuff. So I was like in the mindset of I want to do some D&D puzzles. Like, how do I get Colin to do this? And then I didn't say anything about it, and you read my mind.
You just manifested
I love doing
it, baby.
puzzles. Again, I'm in this weird spot. I should say this for someone. I've never finished a D&D campaign before as a player or a DM. So it's hard as everything comes to this giant climax to like still include stuff like that. But I think this worked really well. It made sense in the story. And then you still got to the ley line and met Veldrin and all that stuff. So I'm trying to find ways to do that while also making things move forward the story. So, because I love a good puzzle time.
Yeah,
puzzle. The one where I pushed down the step.
Oh, yeah.
What would have happened?
You did push down the step.
Yeah, but
even with your sword, you pushed it down enough. That was an alarm for Veldrin.
Oh, shit.
So all it was to know that for her to know you were there.
Interesting.
So if we didn't hit it, what would have happened?
We could have gotten her.
Snuck up
You
on
could
her.
have snuck into the next room And then we didn't talk about this puzzle, which was, it was tricksy by me, because even in like our thing, I changed the music so it seemed less scary. I said that this room feels like it's more lived in, or was once lived in, to like almost get your guard down. But then above that archway was me with you, you with me. And basically they had enchanted their necklaces to be able to walk through that door.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why Jett was able to walk through, because he was wearing the necklace.
God, thank God you went first, Jett. Jesus Christ.
And then Xander was the one who moved next and didn't have one of the necklaces, which is why teleported to that and got thrown into the demiplane.
Bro,
That's so
I
fun.
felt so bad when you said that, oh yeah, we fell in love and oh, he's out there. I'm like, we killed him. I was like, no.
Yeah. She wasn't more sad because she had tried to go and speak with him and stuff, but because like he was literally dying. He was dying of old age. And he gave himself to the storm, and it literally corrupted him almost.
Yeah.
Not corrupted him. Like it was just like his sole goal, it was almost robotic, was to protect the tower.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any more.
It
What was
still
his
made
race?
me-
Which is why if you listen to the last episode, I actually mentioned that the ears are sharp on this elemental giant. Yeah.
Shit.
During
remember
the
that.
conversation, when the conversation that you were having, Vince Jett with her, you did respond to me, sounded tone deaf to the situation that she was in. It made sense for us, for the story, but it was like, yeah, he lost his mind long ago. And oh, how long ago? Felt like, oh, yeah, she's dead. But like, for how long though? Nothing. And it's not like a big deal at all. It's just like, it feels like a weird response to someone saying, yeah, I lost my partner to losing their mind and they've been rampaging all over the place. And just, wow. But like, how bad though? But
I
Is
like
it
kinda
not
get where you're
normal to
coming
be
from.
like,
when's your
when did
dog
that happen?
die?
Yeah, I would've been curious.
I feel like it's kind
Yeah,
of
I
normal.
thought that's how I was
Even
coming
that,
about
like-
it. Oh,
Is
like
that dismissive?
how long ago have you been here and stuff? I guess I messed up. I'm sorry.
I don't see it.
No. It's I don't.
Yeah.
That was a personal. That seems like a weird way to approach the question in timing, but that's entirely me. Like that was me thinking like maybe hold off that question by 1 degree, but that was me, not anyone else. It wasn't a bad approach for the story. I don't think it was like Jett being insensitive or anything like that. I don't think it was you being insensitive about that kind of topic or anything like that. It was just how I perceive it based off of
funny.
my.
What I'm hearing
Yeah,
is
it sounded
Xander
funny to
was
me.
sad he didn't get to indulge in the conversation as long because he got
Oh
thrown
my gosh,
into
he was there for
timeout.
He was there for so long. I almost felt like I had to check up on him. Just cast a little sending stone into him. Like, hey buddy, how you doing in your dark void?
Yeah, he was just twiddling his thumbs.
How's your stone prison?
It's nice. Got to think.
Are you trying to start an Airbnb for writers or
Yeah.
something?
Exactly. Like they can be there for as long as they want. They can write their masterpiece.
And if they live forever, that's just more income. That's brilliant, actually.
like I'm charging that credit card every month, baby. I don't care.
Honestly, at that point, you should do a yearly fee.
It's not like time
Yeah.
stops though. They're still gonna miss like their friends or loved ones are gonna age.
It's all right.
Billionaires will do anything like that. They don't care.
Do you think billionaires are going to use that service?
Yeah, the billionaires will use the room. They'd be like, I want to live until they want to live until it's time to go to Mars, but they don't want to age because they want to get there.
What they should
They
do,
wanna live
honestly,
forever.
is you should rent it whenever you go to sleep. And then you'll live a third longer.
A third longer. Yeah. Oh.
True.
Blueberry's a way better entrepreneur
for real.
Xander.
Yeah.
Blueberry's got this on
Hey.
lock.
I didn't have the idea fleshed out. I'm still looking for business partners. We still got to build the
Apparently it's Blueberry.
infrastructure.
One thing that absolutely terrifies me is that I gave you a orb to summon Alana.
yeah.
And
Bold plans, boy.
I and I don't.
It's just going to sit on it by accident.
Oh,
I
imagine.
have Alana's stat block, and other than that, I'm terrified of whatever comes of that. But I was like, no, this fucking makes sense. And I thought of it last night, and I was like, as I was prepping, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's got to happen.
It was such a surprise when you said that. I think I saw everybody, it just clicked at the same time. We were like, fucking what?
Just wherever and whenever.
Yeah. And just immediately.
Yeah, it was fun to see your faces when, especially Jett's eyes opened, or Vince's eyes opened up real wide when I told you that Veldrin was one of the heroes. So that was really cool because your eyes went wide and you're like, oh shit.
I was so surprised. And then I thought I heard you, I wrote it down in my notes. I thought I heard you say that all of the heroes had faked their deaths, but I misinterpreted that as just them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said I was like, oh my God, they're all alive? Was our new task to go and like save everybody else?
But I didn't get locations on my homie and Blueberry, or oh no, your homie Jett and your guys, your amulet shield thing.
But because of Jett's vision, we know that they got reincarnated by Volazar. We saw that happen 2 or 3 episodes ago.
Yep.
And they're under Volazar's control, which was something I couldn't talk about in the episode because I was in the box.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, please.
Sarla and Digu.
We at least we know they're alive,
Digu.
and we know they're reincarnated. Have they died since then, or what? Who knows? But
how long ago were they reincarnated?
Yeah, minimum
reincarnated into totally new bodies.
Minimum, we have Volazar and 2 heroes to go after, with potentially Alana.
I was gonna say 3 if you're counting Alana. Yeah.
Can we fix Alana?
But you already killed one of the heroes, so you did kind of.
I don't think we can just persuade Alana. We'd have to do some some recombo sort of stuff.
I'll deafen, yeah. Just wave me in.
Here's my plan.
Wait. Do you want to save this for like actually in game though?
No, I just want to fuck with Colin with it, honestly. If you guys want me to tell you, I will tell you. I will need pretty much every single one of you to potentially make this happen. So if you want me to,
okay.
I personally like it in game to not metagame.
I'm cool with it if you want me to wait.
That's just me.
Y'all tell me.
It's a group effort.
If it doesn't
matter.
Pre-prep or whatever.
It'll take some pre-prep, probably.
I guess we gotta do that in character.
Yeah. Okay. Now everyone, when Colin comes back, just act like it's the greatest plan ever.
Okay.
Do you guys think my head's been hurting so much, and I couldn't tell if it's the sorry, this is completely off topic. Can't tell if it's the lack of caffeine from me cutting out caffeine, or do you think the gamer subs is dehydrating me?
Probably both.
Because I don't drink nearly as much water. Because I always drink gamer subs instead.
But it's water.
Probably both.
But like gamer subs is water. Yeah.
It's just water with.
You guys using water? No,
just
I
like
use milk.
Coffee is water.
You guys are using water?
Gamer milk?
You are correct.
Oh.
Gamer milk. But if they made like a chocolate version and I could make a chalky milk, I'd be down.
all liquids and like soup. Soup is a liquid. It's got water in it. There's other stuff that's in there, but there is still water in there.
But things like beer and alcohol still dehydrate you, even though it's liquid and it's got water in it. But it'll dehydrate you. So I'm curious if Gamer Subs has something that's
coffee,
like that.
Gamer Subs, most likely.
Gamer Subs and most of these coffee, they're not alcohol.
Most of these energy drink things, they'll dehydrate you.
Nah, it's water.
All right, I'm assuming you guys just talked a little bit about... Sorry, I'm back. I'm assuming you guys just talked a little bit about what your plan is, so I was going to ask you a little bit about your plan, but you sound like you don't want to.
It's the coolest plan I've ever come up with, basically.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That you've ever come up with?
I'm just gonna not prep for next session, and we're just gonna see what happens. Perfect. Okay? Because I don't think I can prep at this point for whatever's gonna fucking happen.
Fucky.
I think it's just gonna be flying by the seat of my pants.
You want a wonderful listener question though?
Before we get there, can we just say that Nigel said that coconut's a mammal, and that made me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. I just want to say,
No.
for the record,
I need to bring an idea that physiology is not an effective way of classification, because if you just classify mammals as things that have fur, things that produce milk, that describes a coconut. But you can also look at the platypus, which is a mammal, and it's venomous, it's bioluminescent, and it lays eggs. Those aren't mammalian traits. Physiology is a thing that we can't scientifically classify by.
I don't remember
so
what
Frederick
we were
could
talking
be a reptile.
about. Oh, okay. That's right. I was like, I couldn't remember what led to that, but I was very confused when all I heard was coconut's a mammal. Yeah. But yes, Ryan, I am ready for a listener question.
Yeah. Hey, everyone listening to this, head over to patreon.com/castparty, join our free tier, or drop a question underneath this if you're listening on Spotify. We are going to be doing a bigger behind the scenes next time for everyone to be able to listen to. More questions based on the past, present, and future of Cast Party, what we do, why we do it, anything you want. A little bit more about us, just to celebrate some anniversary week. But in the meantime, I have a question from our Discord from Elon. What Cast Party NPCs do you ship? And I have one very specific.
Ooh.
Kanu and Matthias. I think they're so loyal to each other, and they'd be so cute.
Yeah, 100% right there with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else though.
We don't do a lot with romance.
The Queen and Adawolf.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
true.
counts. That counts. Yeah.
Perhaps May and her fella with the sword.
Dugrin? May and Dugrin?
Oh.
I don't know why. I feel like they got beef. I don't know
Okay.
if they do, and I don't think it's ever come out, but just something about... But he
And
also
you made
said
them.
he'd
You
always...
can make them have beef.
He always said he'd have her back. You know who May really needs to get with? Fucking... Hold on. I got his name. Arcane Tatau, the tattoo artist.
Jazz.
What's his name?
Oh.
Jazz and May. That sounds good.
The real question is, who do we set Dante's cornbread kid up with?
Jatova's daughter.
Oh, Cherry! That's a good combo.
Cherry cornbread. Cherry cornbread.
Would that be good?
I don't...
I'd try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
would
it would
have
actually.
that.
Yeah.
I'd try it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
fucking love
Cornbread is so good,
cornbread,
man.
dude.
It's unreal.
I had a salad with
cherries.
cornbread croutons. That was pretty solid.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It was a Nashville hot chicken salad, which was weird, but it was like a spicy ranch with like cornbread croutons and something else. It was tasty.
I'm with it.
Target. Pre-make it. Yeah, at Target, you can get the pre-packaged salad.
Who do you think would vibe with Desideria if she was still
Me.
alive?
Sebastian.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, that was a dumbass question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even when you said if she was still alive. Like he was ready to say me regardless.
Just yeah.
What about, oh my god, what's his name? Dr. Grawl?
Oh,
Oh.
sexy teacher.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, but I think specifically, I would put Grawl with Bray. I think that there would be that's like the high society, like very well educated with the gruff like powerhouse. So it's like that kind of relationship, the bodybuilder and the librarian.
All right, and we need to do one more classic. I've seen so many rom-coms about that same story, the bodybuilder librarian. Oh god, I was gonna try to make a name for a thing, but I was gonna call it Getting Jacked in the Library, but that doesn't
Calm yourself.
Coming to a Hallmark channel near you.
What was the last one that you were going to ask, Colin?
Oh yeah, I want to know, who do you think would work well with Scud?
Scud? Nobody.
Yeah.
He's there. He's alone.
We
for the
need
rest of his
someone
life.
stupid or just like happy being
I feel
Who
like
was that guy with the katana?
Dugrin.
Dugrin. Yeah, he was with May, working with May.
I
He
feel
was
like
dumb,
like
too.
Scud.
It could be a
I think
throuple.
Scud is a dwarf kind of guy. I think he wants a dwarf woman.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jatoba.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of Derek up in the fucking magistrate fella that was befriending.
No, Sebastian was playing Derek. You're thinking of Kamir, the Dragonborn guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Since I thought that Scud was a Dragonborn, that's all perfect.
Yeah. You should. I can see Scud and Kamir, because Kamir's just a goofy little dude, and they're both working for the magistrate. They're like low-level magistrate.
It's like a
I'm down for it.
romance.
Ooh,
Like
scandalous.
every bodybuilder librarian couple I know.
Don't let...
Ooh,
All right, cool.
Can we hear the magistrate's HR policies on dating?
If someone asks patreon.com/castparty, you got to join our free tier and ask in the Discord, and then maybe I'll talk about it next BTS.
He just wants time to figure it out.
No, I just want more people to come join our awesome community while I'm looking up HR. Do they have a 401k? Huh.
That's a 401g for gold.
Gold.
Oh my god. Wait, what does 401k stand for?
I don't fucking know.
Carrot? Is it also gold? Are 401ks, they just giving us chunks of gold? I don't know how this works. I'm never going to retire. Cool. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Bye.